Verti. They've beaten FaZe twice in the playoffs as well, getting more and more dominant each matchup it appears. And yeah, I mean, the only big worry in the back of my head, not only, I guess, the map advantage for G2 in this series, but also the fact that G2, they've had 4 days off, Harry. They've had time to prepare and watch big. And the fact of the matter is if they've done their homework, which I can only assume G2 have, and watched the demos and figured out what big like to do, knowing they've already won a BO3 series dominantly against Big as well, like it was a 2-1, but both the maps G2 won were dominant, I think that does bode well for them. This is going to be so close, it's going to be so competitive, and I have no idea which way to lean.
Wow, man, thanks, dude. That's such a good prediction, Hugo. I like it, man. You just, I like that you just
calling G2, Harry. I'm calling G2.
And you just say it, you know, like, I don't know who's going to win this one.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not incredibly invested in, like, one team taking it. I think either team deserves it. And I think one thing is guaranteed, that this is going to be a fantastic grand final series that you just do not want to miss.
Yeah,
Hugo, I got to ask, if you're looking at players to keep an eye on, if you're saying, you know, if you're leaning the way of someone like G2, who would you be watching on this squad?
You've got to say Kenny S, Harry. You've got to say Kenny S, right? Him versus Searson, as highlighted by Maniac on the desktop. This is such a cool AWP matchup, such a cool battle between these two. Kenny has been the one French player that, despite where French CS has been, he's always been at the top, and it feels like he just can't drop off. On top of that, for G2, I'm going to look at Hunter, man. Obviously, it goes without saying, the cousin of Nico and an absolute legend in his own right. His own name needs to be said before his cousins, because boy, oh boy, he's the one in this grand final here today and here to play. It's G2 Esports taking on Big, a BO5 with a map advantage for the Frenchmen. Who's going to take this series? Let's find out.
Yeah, pistol round already underway, and Twitch chat makes some noise. It doesn't really work when there's no crowd, but you know, we'll give it a go. Keto gonna start off over here towards B ramp, while the rest of the gang, they're all slipping their way over towards A. Now G2, they've gone very heavy in towards middle early on in this round. There's a 3-man hold here for G2. Big aren't going to grace mid with their presence, though. They're sneaking up through A ramp slowly but surely. And for Amanek, he hasn't heard anything yet that would lead him to believe there's players here. The advantage to having 3 players grouped up in mid like this is that the rotations are going to be very, very fast. So the moment that Amanek does get some information to go off of, he's able to call for these rotations. But G2, they've pushed into mid. They've started to get aggressive here. And they might be allowed to come in pretty quickly on this flank, because now the utility is raining into this A bomb site. And while Jax has rotated safely, the rest of the gang, they're coming in on this rotate down through middle. Amanek spamming this smoke, but he's not able to find anyone. The bomb's going to go down here. Kenny now arriving from this mid lurk. There's 3 players holding ramp, though, and Kenny does get taken care of by Zentares. It's a 4-on-4 in the post flood.
Yeah, retakes on, and now the advantage back for G2 with a flash in. They can get on this bomb. They have a kit available. That smoke has left a big gap, a big area open, so G2 need to prioritize getting the kills before they stick that defuse. Keto's backing up. I love this passive play from Big, but it's going to get them caught, trapped in the back. Hunter with another, and the defuse is happening again for the second time. Tizian can't stop it, and Jax has the cover. Great shot from Jax, finding 2, and G2 will find the pistol round. Strong start from them, right? A retake setup. Luckily enough, a fast flank for Kenny. And I mean, he gets a kill here, but Zantares, he should be covering this one. Searson goes out on a limb, and there was a player there to deal with Kenny. You got to wonder if Searson doesn't go for the peak. That probably goes a lot better for Big, but nice retake and full money now in the second. Big are going to force, as they often do after planting on that pistol.
Once again, they're leaning down here towards ramp early on, but Big, they've kind of shown us already that they're going to take this map pretty slowly, right? They're not going to be playing with this fast pace behind them. Searson going to get the tag there with the scout onto Amanek, and that's a bit of return damage on the back of the earlier damage that Searson took from the utility. Amanek and Hunter, they're just going to fall back more passively into this site. They actually leave Hunter behind the sandbags at the top of ramp, but there is a Molotov on Tabson, so do be sure to bear that in mind. While this is happening, Jax is going to deal with Tizian over here in middle, and this Molotov is going to force Hunter out into the open. That's going to present a 4-on-4 back to Big, as they now look to get stuck into this A site.
Yeah, the scout's been tagged from the early utility damage. Amanek, who laid that down, is still low, but luckily the kill is there for Jax. Trade through the smoke. Big trying to scavenge guns on this bomb site. Kenny's going to jump up on the boost. Perfect timing. Catches Tabson with his back turned. And Big, they're going to try and focus on the plant. G2 can't stop it, but they can stop Big from getting around here. A retake available. Lots of util for Nexa. If he can get that nade in, Xantares is still stuck on the site. And if he knows that, it could be huge, but it goes towards short and does nothing. Xantares with some damage denied by Kenny. Keto with a shot, and he's stuck in the clutch. He can't do it. G2 with a nice second round take in. It gets a bit dicey, but G2 play their cards right. They don't overcommit. They wait. They allow the bomb to go get planted for Big, and then they defuse as a unit. Exactly how you should be doing it on Vertigo, right? You don't want to just run down that planter, despite them being so close to you. The wall of smokes is very, very good for Big. And yeah, like you said, not a fast round. No fast rounds here for Big so far. They want to work this map control and throw executes. They don't want G2 to know what they're doing. Running up really anywhere on this map is going to be extremely loud, and G2 are going to hear your intentions. So Big trying to deny information, but once again are denied position for the deep smoke and the Molotovs that land in front of it.
This round's looking to get laid to rest pretty quickly by G2. They're only up against the pistols. There wasn't really much riding on it, but Big, they were hoping to at least get away with a bit of damage in this round. Nexa spots these players aggressing over here towards B, and he's going to make quick work of them. Not quite. There's a nade at least, but Xantares does D Kenny out of the round. The nade's brought him down low, and this wrap from Amanek should get the kill secured. He's going to pick it up. G2, they'll get this 3-0 start, but now the investment is looming for the big boys.
Yeah, that's what we've been waiting for, right? I really wanted Vertigo in this series. Obviously, we have 4 maps potentially, so yeah, it was likely going to happen, but you know, this is a map that G2 have been, pulling up since its initiation into the pool, and we've seen them develop and learn and change and adapt over the course of, Pro League, RTR, these last 3 months of play, including DreamHack as well. So it's nice to see Big, who have also loved this map, get to go head-to-head against a clearly, very strong Vertigo team that knows what they're doing. Kenny, he's playing construction area, going to fight with the orb, but they're already pushed up very close. He realizes, but too late. Still hits a 2-for-1, taps him down low. Kenny with a chance to escape, but he's trapped. Big, pushing into this B site, trying to split it quickly. Kenny does have support. Nexa is pivoting like a genius, getting kills on the ramp and then killing construction players. Kenny survives for longer than he should, and now he shouldn't, as Searson comes in on the flank. Big, in a 2-on-2 with a bomb in the site.
Yeah, considering this was a 2-on-4, this is a huge turnaround for Xantares and Searson. Searson's holding aggressively over here towards CT, and while this is happening, Amanek is wrapping up through B ramp. Searson going to nail the shot onto Hunter, and Xantares is there at the very, very end as well to find this first on the board for Big. It was a scary start to the round with Kenny getting away with kills, right? Landing that little collateral almost over a middle, removing a man early on. It almost slips away from Big in a pretty dominant fashion. I will say, do be sure to keep your eye on Nexa over at this B bomb set. We got to speak to him a lot back at the Pro League and the Road to Rio. And when these changes came into B, he was explaining to us how he loves it now, right? Like, he used to say playing that B site got awful lonely, wasn't really much fun. Well, he's a bit of a master at it.
Yeah, definitely a good job in that round, but a nice smoke from Big at the back of the bomb site. It actually lands behind the gens and essentially cuts off CT spawn. Kenny gets stuck behind it, and just because of the smoke there, it loses vision, and he doesn't see Searson coming in on a late mid wrap. That's information that G2 probably want in the future, and they've gone for a double mid setup here. I like the default for G2 on the CT side, right? 2A, 2 mid, 1B, and you can rotate very fast on the CT side of this map. Searson wall banging for a player pushed down towards the short side. Just really hammering it home, but no one on the other side of that wall. Hunter's holding towards the top of A. Big, once again, a very slow default where they just hold early and wait for G2 to get aggressive. That's not going to be the case. G2 are not pushing anything. Tizian using Amanek's Molotov against him in the middle, going to push Kenny off of the construction. This is a good spot for Kenny, able to hide from any tees behind the sandbags and pop out with only your head exposed. The rest of Big are walking up towards A right now, but we have a late mid split coming through too.
Oh, yeah. Jax and Kenny have actually dealt with the first man going in. Tizia was a little too far ahead for Keto to trade, and now the rest of G2 have quick rotated into this A bomb site, and they actually just start rushing the smokes. Jax takes down Tabson. Searson gonna deliver here. There's a player going up and over onto the boost, and that's Nexa, who deals with everybody at the very, very end. He's having a great game right now, is Nexa. 8-1 on the scoreboard, and in every one of these rounds that G2 have been able to pick up, he's been delivering multi-kills.
Yeah, something Pim said on the desk was, you know, this series contains two of the best fragging in-game leaders we have in Counter-Strike right now, that being Tabson and Nexa. Like, great individual performances from these guys, and, you know, players that have, you know, moved into the in-game leader role over time and really, really picked it up well. Nexa, I love how G2 will always accept the chaos. If Big want to get chaotic, G2 will get chaotic. They'll push the smokes, they'll jump up on the boost, they'll take the fights, and we have, like, you know, Big trying to set up there. Searson gets 2 with the orb, and then G2 just rush him down. They know that if they give him room, that's a big problem, so they just overwhelm him and don't let that orb get any more. Kenny's now got one of his own, and he's firing off down towards the ramp room. So Big, already 3 alive, make that 1. Keto, bottom of B, and G2 looking like a 5th round, likely. They can keep it flawless, that'd be nice, and that's exactly what they'll do. Money starting to build here for the G2 camp, and control certainly taken on this CT side. I want to see Big speed up the pace. I want to see them go for a default round when you fast play A and have one player late lurk mid or something like that. We haven't seen Big play off of their spawns at all in this game. They've always set up slow, and that's allowed G2 to, every round, take this ramp control, do what they're doing now, throw those deep smokes. One player tries to push ahead of them, but Amanek is dueling, and he does a lot of damage through it. These SMGs churning at Big, but yet to get a kill.
Tabson's going to try and get out into middle, but Kenny and his little AWP reside in this area of the map, and so Tabson gets dropped. Searson going to come back in with an equalizer. Right now, it's the orbs popping off in the early game. However, look at Hunter. He's living up to his name. He's gone through this smoke down at the bottom of ramp, and he's now got the information that ramp is clear. This is huge for G2. It affords them an extra man to rotate over to this B bomb site, and actually Amanek's going to come on in and join Hunter on this wrap. Tizian, who was holding for the first man in, does get the kill, but will he be ready for Amanek? 50 seconds and Big on the back of getting that kill. They're like, all right, boys, let's go back. You know, they just saw us going to B. They know what's going on, but I killed the guy flanking. However, there was 2 players pushed up down through ramp, and Amanek is only good for 1 more. Keto and Searson. These boys started off as sprouts, but now they've got to grow something wonderful into this round. Kenny going to try and hold the line, gets smoked off, and he pushes through. He's looking to take the fight to Big, and Kenny nails the shot. It's all onto Keto in the 1v2.
Yeah, huge clutch for the young gun, but Kenny's going to rush him down, and this is what I talk about, Harry, when I say the chaos for G2. They don't care. They're not scared. They know they're the favorites in this series, and they're going to take every opportunity to show Big that, not give them the room to move. And I think, you know, underestimating is a common word we use in Counter-Strike, especially when an underdog such as Big makes such a run in this tournament. Maybe teams underestimated them on the way, but no chance G2 are going to do that in the grand final. They know why Big are here. They've lost a map to them in a series that they won, and they're here to take another dominant victory. 6-1 lead. Big brought up again. No AWP on this round. They're going to set up towards A once again fast, because deep smoke from G2 has just been so consistent. Every round thrown down. Amanek usually has another on short, and Big not once have taken A ramp early. They've just been denied position after position, and this is no different.
The thing that's so scary is because G2 are feeling so confident right now that the moment these like slow A rounds are coming through from Big, G2 have already explored the other avenues on the map. In this round, they'd already pushed up into mid and they've dropped the smoke, but they've been peeking past it. So now they kind of realize, well, there's nobody middle. We haven't heard anything at B. And so the moment this utility comes in towards the A site, there's nothing discreet about it. G2 know this is the A play because they've already cleared mid. They're listening out at B. They didn't see anyone. And now they've dropped the bomb here at the B bomb site, leaving Big in a 3-on-5. This time they will be afforded the bomb plot at a bare minimum, but Hunter, lines him up and knocks him down. Searston gets dropped through the smoke, and G2 7-1 in their favor. 5 players staying alive in that retake. And this is just disgusting right now.
Yeah.
G2, like, we were wondering if it was going to be the usual nerves for this squad, because it feels like, you know, when the games get important, when they really matter for G2, and there's, like, you know, a championship on the line, that's where the cracks have sometimes started to show, right? And right now, I don't know, man, they're looking real fired up. Big are going to call in this tactical pause, and justifiably so.
Huge mistake for Big in that round, right? Keto gets shot through the smoke, which is unfortunate, and then tabseN goes for a wide plant, which that plant is good because it allows Big to play ramp and not like have to rush the site and take control and deal with that smoke spam that eventually loses them the round. But yeah, tabseN tries to plant, and amanek jumps over boost. A very ballsy play, a very risky play, but he kills tabseN. And why? Big, they're not covering. They get tabseN in the site, and suddenly all 3 of them fall back to watch short, to watch ramp. No one was even close to looking at the bomb planter, and so there's 0 cover there. G2, they drop another one, they have a 5-on-3, and then they just start spamming smokes, and they close the round. So that's a mistake from Big, a rare one, right? And, well, right there, that's going to lose them the round, putting them back to pistols. G2, they must be loving this right now, Harry. Last time G2 played a BO5 was against Astralis. G2 managed to get 8 rounds in an entire BO5 Grand Final series, and it must be nice trying to do the same back to a different opponent now. Oh, it's getting dicey though. Guns are being picked up by Big as they trade kills up on this A ramp. A fast approach through the smoke, and it works wonders.
As is often the case, right? No matter how successful these ramp takes have been, G2, if you look at the minimap, you'll see a problem. And that is that there's 3 players here. And so, Big, if they do decide to continue this commitment into A, they're walking into all the remaining guys for G2. amanek's over here at short side, and he's spotted Tizian. That's a little bit more for G2 to go off of. Big, they're still committed. They're still looking for this kill, and Xantares will get the trade. So we're into this 2-on-2.
Yeah, chance for Big to make it interesting, but will they commit to A or go back? Xantares is checking a flank, but not committing to it. tabseN pushed up, and really, this is a hard one. This is one where, you know, from a surface level, you might just want to send Xantares in first to trade, but yeah, 3 HP. Luckily, they're going into the orb, and so it's a one-shot regardless. Kenny, though, he's known to hit these shots. Always looking the wrong way. The barrel could elude him. The timing is everything, and the cross is there. Oh, what a missed shot! That doesn't make sense. Kenny is looking right at them, and neither shot connecting. A third flashed out. He can't find it. Now G2 have to retake. This is not the round they wanted. This is not the round they needed, but it could be a round that Big steal from underneath G2.
tabseN holding the short angle. Smoke rains in, but tabseN's already up and past it, and he's dropped Kenny. This leaves Nexon out in a 1v2. Does retrieve the kit from Kenny's body, taps the bomb. This is going to bait a peek eventually, and Xantares swings on up to take the fight. Big, they snatch away that partial investment. They managed to find success on the back of the A plate in spite of walking in to what was a 3-on-3 at this A bomb site.
Yeah, excellent work from Big. Really good reaction, and the slowdown there as well, right? All that does is separate the 2 players from G2, which, you know, doesn't eventually get Big any kills, but knowing you have a 2-on-1 there forces Kenny to play passive and allows you to get the bomb plant. The bomb plant is what allows Big to relax into a nice setup and get the job done. But G2, they're angry, they're furious, and they are sending grenades down the ramp once again. Molotov, smokes, HEs, you name it. A bit of damage done, but Hunter will perish, or not perish, burn rather in the Molotov. Searston on 10, but he's got the orb, so he just has to back off while this utility is still available for G2. Try and count the grenades that you're seeing and figure out when it's safe to cross. Though it's never really safe to cross with these Frenchmen on the other side. Searston, he sees the jump. He's hit the shot earlier with a scout, didn't get the kill, but this one, there, that's perfect. amanek, you had it coming to him, Harry. And now Big, a man advantage. It feels like one of the first times in this map that Big have sat back in a 5-on-4 that has gone untraded. In fact, that's the first opening duel of this game for Big.
So there's a reason it feels that way. And that's because it is that way. Kenny's going to go aggressive over towards ramp, and oh no, Xantares isn't paying him any attention. But there's Searston getting some revenge. However, Kenny is also the man out for blood over here in the A site. Nexa follows up with another onto Keto, and while this is happening, you got sneaky little Jax coming in on the ramp flank. He shut down this bomb, and with it, any hope of winning the round. Tabson, 1v3, 15 seconds. He needs to get a flurry of kills and retrieve the bomb, and that's just not happening. G2 has secured themselves an 8. They continue to build this lead up. Something that I think is like just still so impressive to me is that Nexa is tied first on the scoreboard at 12-2. He's the B site anchor, and there's been one B play in this entire half so far from Big. So he's just coming in on these rotations and getting so much value. Yeah. I'm honestly kind of like lost for words. I can't believe that this guy who's just getting like, look at it. This is his whole round. If we change to number 5, you'll see that Nexa's just like chilling out, waiting with a nade. Never really has had to throw the nade because no one's really come to this bomb site. But this just shows, right? Like Nexa's got a very, very good read on exactly when he should be rotating, what his role is as the player rotating into that A bomb site. And now he might get his first taste of the action here at B, and you don't want to face Nexa at B. If he's wrecking you on A, imagine what he can do at his site of his choosing. However, Keto actually here dismantles the B hold, forces rotations in from G2. They're very, very quick on these rotations, and I want to see Big exploit that a bit more. That's what they're trying to do in this round. They've fallen off from B, knowing that G2 are going to rotate heavily on the back of losing 2 players here. And this has left Hunter, for the time being, all alone at this A bomb site. But Big cannot take too long. Amanek has pushed down the B ramp and has got the information that this side of the map is clear.
Yeah, G2 not falling for it. And that's a surprise, and I think it's going to be a surprise to Big as well. But they're holding for it. Keto ready on the flank, and Big, now they might just go back towards B. They've not done a lot of faking in this game. They've really just committed where they end up early. And so it's a surprise to see G2 read into that and get aggressive on B, but a great call nonetheless. However, this one from Big is going to be the round winner. Tizian has sat in middle this entire round. He hasn't moved, and now he's finally going to be able to cut off these rotations from A if he hits his timing. Or he can come in late and lurk. Now he can't lurk because he's given away his position, but Kenny doesn't care. He's focused on the bomb site. He's focused on the objective at hand with a missed shot, and Xantares with the cover. Big with 10 seconds stick the plant, and Hunter might just want to save. G2, they've got a bit of money on 2 players here, but other than that, it's going to have to be Hunter getting away with a gun. Big building into this one, finding a 3rd round. And that's so important, Harry, because I won't lie, this veto really scares me for Big in this series, because not only this first map that the G2 have proven they really like and they've always gone for, even though it is going to be their pick, the follow-up is one that Big picked, right? Nuke. Now, that's a map G2 16-5 them on just the other day in this upper bracket. So, of course, you always can go and look back at the demos and figure out what went wrong. But 16-5, that's not a close game by any means. So there is a world where Big get 2-0'd in this BO5 thanks to that map advantage.
Where I think this series gets exciting and why I hope that Big can deliver is it's like when you look at these final maps of Dust 2 and Mirage, I think that is where the gameplay gets very, very exciting, because like while Dust 2 is a map that G2 pick into a hell of a lot, it's one that we know they've started to struggle on as of late. And for Big, I absolutely love them on Dust 2. I especially love Searson on Dust 2, right? Like he just feels so comfortable on that map. Awesome. And I want to see the Kenny S. Searson head-to-head AWP battle on Dust, and to do that, G2 cannot 2-0 the opening of this series, or else we'll never even get to see it. So come on, Big, do it for me if you're not going to do it for yourselves.
Yeah, obviously Nexa picked Dust 2, so we know he's going to lose it, because that goes hand in hand. Whoever picks Dust 2 loses Dust 2. We all know that. So yeah, there's always that in your back pocket for Big. But like you said, we need to get there. And right now, we are not getting there. G2 are in control, but that could come to a very quick close as Big. If they win this round, they're going to break G2's money. Hunter going for the jump to punish Amanek earlier could almost be a bait, right? Big are going to see that. They're going to think it's Amanek. But where is Amanek? No, he's pushed down. He's ready and waiting. The only man with utility, though, can't afford to pull a grenade out. He's got to fight for his life. And he has at least found one pushing aggressively, though, and Tabson was ready. Hunter can't afford to play aggressive. He's going to go for it. Flashed up by his teammate. That's actually dodging flash from Tabson, rather, which blinds Keto. Hunter will take the kill every day of the week and fall back with an advantage.
Oh, Tizian, you don't want to slow peek this. That is certain death. Kenny has just gone round the corner, so Tizian is given a bit of room, and Searson spots this double short side take. However, Nexa, he's pushed the smoke. He's shut everyone down back in the site. Now, Nexa's on the bomb, but he doesn't have a kit. However, Tizian not even beginning a rotation. Oh, Nexa got off the bomb.
You cool?
G2.
G2? No,
yeah,
not
come
like
on. I get nervous. Like, you know, I don't like watching you guys with bombs, I'll be honest. Luckily enough, Tizian isn't going for it.
Woo.
Oh, that got worried for me.
Why,
for a
Harry?
moment there.
They defused like 7 of the 10 seconds, and then he got off it. Like, oh!
Next is like 1 second left on the 10-second defuse, and then it's like, all right, guys, all right, hang on. Hunter, you get it, you get it.
Yeah, G2 don't make it easy for themselves when they do things like that, but they do luckily stick the bomb, and I'm surprised to see Tizian doesn't go for it, man. He had a chance to, you know, make it work, and Searson could have dropped him. So really shocked that Tizian doesn't give that 1-on-3 a go by any means. He's actually a really good clutch player that we've seen from Tizian, but right now 2-10, having a slow start. He is playing the solo mid lurk versus Kenny, which is not a fun role to be in, but Big want to help him out. Double nades onto Kenny, put him low, but he puts Tizian out of production, down 2-11. Big, they do have tabs here. He could find a timing, but he's losing teammates, falling like flies. Searson's gone as well, and now Tabson's taking the route to Jax. He does get the trade, but that position's been given away, and G2 no Big have mid.
Kenny's already here. Oh, does try and cross into the site, and the timing's not great on that for Kenny. Keto's followed up with a frag onto Nexa, and suddenly, man advantage for Big. However, this bomb is rotating in through ramp, and Amanek, he could steal this whole round away. However, you ain't sneaking past Tabson. He's ready for that flank. Hunter might be forced into another one of these saves. 1v3, and he's already backing out of the round. Big, they're going to get themselves a 4th here and now.
I wonder why Kenny's AWP is. It's actually in the site, isn't it? So not attainable for Hunter. And yeah, that's going to be a nice round from Big. It could have gotten choppy there, Harry. Tabson, after he trades in middle, after he gets a kill to Jax, the bomb gets spotted from that fight. And Tabson, he's alone in mid. Big have 2 B ramp players. So very smart that Tabson backs up there and goes back through T's board and, you know, reads into Amanek's position. But there's a world where G2 can even, you know, pinch Tabson in mid from that A site and get the bomb under their control. So nice rotate from Tabson, smart as always, gets the AWP as well for Searson. That's a big pickup. It's something that Big have not been able to afford a whole lot in this game, and they're going to lock in a 4th round here, guaranteed. No kill for Hunter or Co. And that's nice, Big building into this game, right? We know it can be T-sided, but in a matchup like this, in a game of mind games, and when both teams know what the others like to do, I think something like that goes out the window. You can have both teams have strong CT sides, but you've got to hope Big can somewhat replicate it right now. And the one thing that I think is going to be completely different between these two teams is Big are running a slow, calculated T-side. I think we're going to see G2 really test the perimeters, really push aggressively and play fast rounds, especially on ecos, especially on force buys, and that's something that could be a problem for Big, but that's not till the second half. We still have 2 rounds left of this one, and one of those 2 rounds is a full eco from the French.
Nexa, he hasn't seen much love at the B-bomb site. However, this Deeg is thirsting for blood. He spots the players at ramp, and now trapped behind the double stack. Gonna take the opportunity to retreat on back, and he's got a rotation here from old mate Kenny. Nexa gets bested, and Keto, accidentally kills the man back in CT in that spray. Jax gets very, very unfortunate there. On plant found, and Hunter's just going to be saving, like, from the get-go. He was never even interested. He never even left CT. So he's just going to stay here with Amanek alongside him. Big, they'll grab this 5th round. They break down the pistols nice and easy. And now a 6-9 half is on the cards for Big. And, you know, I feel like that's recoverable, especially when you think about how one-sided this game looked early on. Big have slowly but surely stumbled back to their feet here.
Yeah, we're still at the case that we're at halftime and Big have 1 opening kill to their name, right? It was that 1 round that they won on the A site, but yeah, you know, it's fine because Big are getting rounds, but that doesn't bode well in the long term if that can be kept up by G2, and it's certainly making Big work for said rounds. Well, this round was their 2nd opening kill at least, so building on the past. And right now, well, G2 need to look to the present because they've got a full buy in the round number 15 in the last of the half. Nice shots from Keto, and Here it is for G2. They've saved this AK on Hunter. He's gotten away with it, so a little bit more to play with here in terms of utility. Kenny's got the AWP glass as well. He's been very good in middle. Him and Nexa have been leading the scoreboard. Will anyone put a stop to them in this last round?
Kenny's holding on to middle, and when you look at it, Searson, you'll see like he's slowly but surely creeping forward. It's about to be the clash of the AWPs, and Kenny comes out on top with the frag onto Searson. Now he's going to boost up Jax in middle, and now look to vacate the area. Big setting up for a B play, and once again, Keto delivering an opening kill on this side of the map. And he has rotated into this position, and Jax has held his own over in middle. Keto has snuck through this smoke, and Kenny's got absolutely no idea. He gets blindsided. The bomb plant's now going to come through for Big, and a 3-on-3 here to end this first half of play. A chance for Big at a 6th round, and one that they're looking to take by storm. Hunter, first man here, has Jax and Co behind him, ready to move on in. Retrieved for Amanek. He's going to look to get stuck into this round, but Tizian sticks a bullet in him. Hunter, with the spray transfer, gets it down to a 1v1. Zantares, the last man remaining, and Hunter, wow, he lands the shot, the flick, up on top of the double stack. G2, they're going to grab a 10th, and it's Hunter nailing all 3 in the retake. G2 10-5 at the end of the first half of play. This grand final is set to continue, and you do not want to miss it. You're going to have to stick around and join us for the second half after a break.
Welcome back, gamers. We have a great game on our hands for you. It's G2 taking on Big. Here's the replay of Hunter that closed out that 1-on-3 in the first half, or at least at the end of it. We now head into the second, G2's T side, and they're leading by 5. Big, they brought up 3 sets of utility on their T side pistol. Funnily enough, here on the CT pistol, they're buying up 3 sets of util. Now, what have these big boys got in store for us? We're going to have to wait and see. Joining me is Harry. How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going good, Hugo. And we got a nice pistol round to kickstart this second half of play. G2, they were moving fast up through a ramp. However, if you'll note, if you're for the astute observer watching this one from home, you'll note that they're not going up a ramp, and they've actually gone back over here towards B. Tizian and Keto gonna have to try and hold the line. These nades have gone in, and they found a lot of damage early on. Tabston opens up with a kill. Amanek has gotten deep, though. Oh, a little flick with the Glock. A little two-piece from Amanek. Tizian still here, but Kenny is gonna find him. And in the blink of an eye, it's all fallen onto Searson in a 1v3. G2, they've grouped up heavily on the construction side. They didn't have the bomb, so they've just had to go back and get that. But, that's a G2 classic. Searson has been allowed to deal with Amanek over here in middle, and now a 1v2 presents itself. He spots Hunter, gets away with damage, and temporarily, Kenny gets off the bomb to try and help Hunter out. They're just looking to take this fight and deal with Searson while they know where he is. They don't want to give him even this temporary 1v1 while the bomb is getting planted. Searson, their chance now as Kenny's plugging in the numbers, but he just can't connect the killing blow. And they're teasing him. Searson nails Kenny. And now just Hunter left to find a 1v1. Searson, he's brought this down. He was 1v3 at the beginning of this round, remember, and he's looking to secure the pistol for big. Hunter toying with him, and he's going to land the shot. The celebration for G2. That pistol round means a hell of a lot. They get the 11-5 start, and they have a chance to continue to build upon this momentum from the first half of play.
Oh, I love seeing G2 get hyped, but I got a little scared there, Harry. I'm sure everyone else did. That looked like G2, they couldn't make up their mind whether they wanted to rush him down or stick the plant, and it doesn't make it easy for them to make that choice. He keeps going in and out, and just being a nuisance, but G2 close it. Hunter with a clutch, and he's been quiet this game, but not because he's been having a bad game, just really hasn't had a lot to do. And well, that's a huge round to get G2 back in control. He rounds out the half with a 1-on-3, and he shuts down the pistol round to keep G2's momentum in order. Another force for big. It wasn't successful in the first half. They had AKs in the second round after a pistol loss, but right now G2, they're showing us what they can do in the server. This is such a competitive, such a high-level game of Counter-Strike, and G2, the fact they're still bringing a dominant lead here right now is only excellent to them, only more credit. Searson fighting down ramp with a scout. He has got armor here, but there's so many G2 players on the other side. Oh, there's a head getting spotted, but a flashbang pushes it back, and G2 are going to run him down. The pace is good, and there's 2 kills with no trades.
The alarm is blaring right now for big. They're rotating in, they're looking for these kills, and over the top of this smoke, Kenny's going to snipe Keto out of the round. For Tizian and Tabston, this might just have to be a save, and it's not a call you're going to love to make, but 2-on-5 is also a pretty unwinnable round over at this A-bomb site. The thing that would make it even worse is like the fact that you still have these 2 smokes on Amanek and Kenny. They can just keep like reapplying these standard offensive, like wall of smokes to cut off these rotation points. They go aggressive, they're hunting down these players, they find Tizian, and so Tabston, the last man remaining, just trying to get away with his P250 and armor.
Seems like no one will stop him in his tracks, but not really a saving grace for big by any means. One pistol Kev saved. But right now, the map is the thing that needs saving mostly for big. 12-5, G2 are in full control. We wondered if this would be back and forth. We wondered if it would be competitive. Well, BigNet maybe not even going to have a chance to show us what they've got if G2 blow them out of the water in just a couple of buy rounds. They win a pistol, they win a conversion, another eco for big here. It's going to be 13-5 before big have money. But I like this idea, flashing a player into mid. The issue is Jax. He's not going to be blind. He's going to be able to help. Amanek needs to fall off the top shelf, and Jax has found 2. Amanek finally not flashed, and he does take down Xantares. I don't know how he gets away with that kill. Tizian team flashing his mate, and Tabston a long way away, still in a 1-on-5, not saving this time, not even staying alive. It's going to be 13 to G2, and this could be 3 rifle rounds that just close this map in the grand final in a dominant way, unless Big have something to show us here in this series.
Yeah, I mean, being real, this could be, you know, like Big's only full-on rifle round that they get if they don't manage to pick this up. They'll have like one more up against 15, but at that point, how much do the rifles even mean, right? It would take so much to get you back into this. So this round here feels like a must-win for Big if they want to keep themselves alive in this map. Next is going to throw Jax up onto this little boost. Keto. Didn't see him there. Peeking into the site.
I've never seen anyone boost on this side.
Yeah, no, me either. It's not uncommon to see. Yeah, like Keto couldn't even believe it. He was looking. Is that a Frenchman on the other side?
He also definitely 100% saw them earlier. Maybe he didn't register it or thought it was just like the grate. That grate can be so annoying looking through it from either side. But he 100% saw them. They were in his view without a doubt. So yeah, I think he was questioning it, but didn't know what to believe. Didn't know that was a boost. And G2, they still show us new little tricks, new little ideas here in the grand final. Big, they're learning. And this is not the place you want to be learning. This is the place you want to be leading.
Oh, seriously, gonna nail that shot at the very, very least, and he's put Big into a 4-on-3 as his A-side players coming through for G2. Searson, still a nuisance, gets up and above the smoke, plucks Amanek out of thin air. Does get dropped by Nexter over at the sandbags, and there's still a chance for G2 in this round, but they've got to go fast. There's 15 seconds left. These smokes have faded, and for G2, this means they've got to take straight-up gunfights, and they've got to win them as well. Hunter crossing into the site, but Nexter gets shut down. Hunter not able to deliver here in the 1v3. Santares mopping up both the remaining players at the very end of the round, and Big, they'll take themselves as 6th up on the board.
Yeah, look at this from Searson, man. The aggression. He's doing exactly what G2 were constantly getting away with. I've never seen a game where people are actually able to jump up on that boost and take shots. It feels like that gets punished every single time in every other matchup. But G2, they were pushing it all the time in the CT side, denying the bomb plants, getting in for retakes. And Big, well, they give them a taste of their own medicine. Nice work from Searson. 2 kills off that spot. And Big saved here with a single round. Hopefully they can build upon it. Amanek averaged more util damage in the first 10 rounds than Keto averaged total damage in that time. To be honest, it makes sense, right? G2, they had Amanek on the A site on that CT side. He was throwing a lot of grenades, he was throwing a lot of Molotovs, and both of those were finding significant success against the big players. It's the life of a CT side on this map. You are going to be finding a lot of utility damage, and Keto had a bit of a slow start to the game, but a couple of key clutches and entries towards that B site, and he seems to have warmed up. Maybe Big can build upon this 6 rounds.
Yeah, this deep ramp smoke's coming in, but G2, they're not like Big, right? They're not going to respect this ramp smoke. They push right through it, and they deal with 3 players at the top of ramp. Keto and Searson, in the blink of an eye, it feels like, are left in a 2-on-4. And now this is where G2 slow down. You want to know why? Because they're gremlins, man. They are just disgusting. They get these opening kills, and now they pump the brakes. And they just kind of wait, right? They know that Big are the ones feeling the pressure here. They're up against 13 rounds, what would be a 14th if this goes in favor of G2. They're at a significant man disadvantage. They've got no information. And so they know that if anyone's going to be desperate to make plays here, it's very much Keto and Searson. And these two have already fallen off of A. They've already given up the round. They're falling off to go and save. So this one looks dead to rights for G2.
Yeah, luckily so, because that smoke has a legitimate gap in the middle, quite a big one as well. And yeah, this is great from G2 because it allows, you know, Big not only just time to get aggressive and flank, which is being held by Kenny, but or not Kenny, but someone else. But regardless, it's, you know, it's Big gambling on B. And even though they cleared this out, even though now they know it's an A take, I don't think Big even go for this. You're right, they just save, they just sit back, and G2 don't even have to take a fight in this 4-on-2 because Big overplay their hand. I take that statement back because I think this is the right call for Big, right? You know, if you stick around on A, you probably lose the round, but if you go B, there's a chance you catch G2 late rotating, and if you don't, then that's fine, you just save. This is honestly all Big can really do in this situation. But yeah, I agree with what you said, Harry. G2 not respecting the smokes. I love that. I was waiting for that. Big never showed us any fast plays in this T side, and I don't feel like that's how we see Vertigo games often transpire. We do like our fast rounds, and G2 show us why. A quick play through the smokes with flashes, of course, and both those big players either shot through a smoke, like in here, or fully white, like in here. And there's no way that either of them get away with kills. So G2 immediate advantages, and they trade the third as well. 2 rounds away from taking the opening map of this grand final, if you don't count the first, which was, of course, a bye. G2 looking to go 2-0 up in this series, and Big only 2 rounds in the way to stop them.
Amanek was raining flashes around from T-spawn to blind these ramp players as they try and get set up. And so G2, they've been afforded a lot of ramp control again. It comes over the top from short from Big. That's going to find a bit of damage here. G2 grouped up very, very heavily. Now, one thing to note is looking on the minimap, you'll see a man going by the name of Keto. He's starting to get curious down towards this B ramp, and he was actually peeking aggressively down the bottom of it. He never saw anyone, so he might begin a rotation in towards A. However, Kenny, besting Searson in the head-to-head, has once again put G2 a man up early into the round.
Tabson really wants to force fights, but that smoke could be a bit of a one-way in favor of G2 if he does this. The flash is good, though, and Kenny blinded. There's a trade from Jax. He was on the headshot angle the whole time, and Tabson won't get away with that one. Is it worth it? We'll have to wait and see, because Big now, with 3 on the A site, G2 are walking back with the bomb. I wonder if they're going to commit to this one. Amanek is considering the flank. Maybe they're just checking for it. Maybe they're holding to see if Big have gone aggressive, but that isn't the case. And G2, well, it's not like this is going to come as a surprise. They're expecting at least 2 players on A here, if not all 3. But again, this is great. G2 go slow, they go quiet, and that's forced Big to rotate. They have to consider other options. So Keto's in B, and there's only 2 on this top site. The Big will convince the second to go that G2 are hitting, and now they are. But look at the clock. Ticky-tick-tock.
Yeah, there's 10 seconds. G2, they've got to go now or else they don't go at all. Amanek delivers the double that was needed. G2, man, they leave it down to the last possible second, and Amanek has somehow made it possible. Keto all alone, but he's dealt with the first man. Now just Amanek left to find, who's already gone on a tear to begin this one. And he bests Keto at the very, very end. G2, they're going to reach map point here, 15-6. Incredibly dominant. I am loving the way they're playing this T side, right? You've already said, like, this is a team that will greet you in the chaos, and they'll feel fine with that. The thing that I love is they play so aggressive, but they only play so aggressive to get that first kill. And the moment they found it, the moment they're a man up, they just wait, because they know that at this point, like, Big are the ones who are needing to make plays and needing to take peaks that wouldn't otherwise be favorable, right? And in that round there, they just wait for guys like Tabson to come in to try and get those kills. Once again, now they're just holding, right? They know that Big aren't going to have much to offer in this round, and they're likely going to be pushing the boat out in terms of trying to find these openings. Well, it's G2 reaping the rewards. Searson is this scout over at top ramp, and Hunter, so aware. I don't know how he's ready for Zentares, who was hidden in the aggressive ramp smoke. Hunter has taken this final round by storm, and I say final round because that feels like a guarantee. Tizian in the 1v5. G2 are not going to give him a way back in. And this is an incredibly dominant-looking G2 here on Vertigo. They're about to pick up an incredibly one-sided victory to find this first map.
This is a G2 who have had 4 days off to watch and wait and prepare for this exact game at hand. Big may have walked into a matchup that might be too hard for them. It's going to be a 2-0 lead for G2. They take essentially the first map of this series, and they look damn good while doing it. That was not competitive. That was not close. Big put up a few rounds on the C side to start the game, but moving into that second half, they find nothing, Harry. They lose a pistol, they lose a force. G2 win the first rifle. Big get 1 round, and then they get swept. So, yes, scary stuff. We move into Nuke in the second map.